Hey guys, this is Night Flame, and today, guys, I will be giving you All New X-Men issue number 40, a review for All New X-Men issue number 40. And this book is written by Brian Michael Bendis and art by Mahmoud Asrar. So, let's start this book and see what I thought. So, the comic opens up with um this group of people. They are going to Utopia Island, which was the former home of the X-Men. It got destroyed, I believe, during Avengers versus X-Men. So they're looking for things that are worth maybe value, and they end up finding a group of people that becomes their demise, and they die. So um they get killed by this group of people, and then we cut to the X-Men, and the X-Men are back in the New York Xavier School for future students or whatever, and they're happy to be back on Earth. They just spend their time in the space because of the Black Vortex. They're being taken care of by Illyana, or Magic, because Kitty is in space with Peter, so Illyana has to take care of the kids, which I think is pretty cool. She ends up rewarding them for their efforts in the Black Vortex, and she ends up buying them hamburgers. So there's this cool moment with Cyclops eating hamburgers, and she calls Cyclops Tyclops, and I think it's pretty funny. But after this, when Illyana leaves, Bobby makes this remark about her. He's like, "Thank you, Headmaster Hotness." So Jean ends up calling Bobby out, and she's like, "Bobby, can you come here?" And they have this conversation, and this is probably the biggest moment in comics this week. So Jean accuses Bobby of being gay, and Bobby doesn't, want to accept it at first. He's like, "You know what? You're crazy. Why do you think I'm gay? Why did I say this?" And he just becomes mad. He puts a wall of ice between them, and then he apologizes. And he's like, "You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I am, and maybe maybe there's a possibility that might be, but there also might not, because the future or the present one, my present body, which is the present Iceman, he's not gay, but Gina's like, you know what, he might be, you don't know. So Bobby, he feels conflicted, but then he's like, you know what, thank you, Gina, I needed this, but you're still a nosy bitch. So it was pretty funny how he said that. He actually really does say that, which I think was great. He's like, yeah, you're great, but you're still nosy. So they hug, they have this moment, and that's what happens with Bobby. He doesn't tell anybody, but he's probably gonna tell the whole group soon. But so far he keeps it down low. The next moment is with Angel and Laura. Angel really likes Laura, and he tries to rekindle their flame, and he talks to her about how during the Black Vortex he decided to keep his powers instead of leaving it behind like Cyclops did and Iceman, because he saw his present self, and he saw that his present self has suffered. His present self got was a horseman for Apocalypse, and that changed them, and he suffered a lot. And then all of a sudden he was not a horseman, and he just lost his memory. And he saw what happened to his future self, I mean his present self, and he doesn't want to be like that. So he thought that maybe if he gave in to the Black Vortex, it would just totally change the course of history for him. So that happens to him, and Laura ends up understanding why he didn't give his powers, and he kisses her, and they are probably in a relationship, and that happens. But the last part of the issue is, I'm gonna show you that. The last part of the issue is so the last part of the issue is the Utopians. You end up seeing them, and they don't wanna leave the Utopia Island because they're trying to get kicked out, I feel. So they're gonna protect it. So I feel like the X-Men, oh no, Shield ends up, never mind, I totally missed that part. Shield ends up receiving this information that the Utopia Island has some strong force in it. They go, and the Utopians like destroy Shield's ship, and they say that they're gonna protect the island and they're not gonna leave until somebody beats them. So that's what happens. And next issue is the last issue of All New X-Men. We'll see how things wrap up. But what did I think about this issue? So let's completely talk about the biggest part of this whole issue, and that is the revelation of Iceman's, sexuality. So he comes out as gay in this issue, and I did not have a problem with it at all. It actually got leaked the day before it came out, or the day it came out, it got leaked. And the big, the headline was like, oh yeah, past as or original X-Men comes out as gay. And when I read the headline, I was like, you know what? I think I know who it is. It's Angel. So that was the first thing that popped into my head. My second choice was Beast, because Beast, in my opinion, he does not have a relationship with anybody, or a really known relationship with anybody. But then it turns out it was Bobby, and at first I was like, you know what? I don't believe this. Why is this happening? But many people try to defend it. They were like, oh, I understand. Bobby, he is, he was always written as a maybe closeted person. So I read a bunch of articles because I try to see many different point of views. Many people just took panels from Bobby's history and they put it in. I saw one in comicbookresources.com that basically put a lot of panels in Bobby's history and maybe explained why he came out in this issue. The best reason I feel like is that he always kept it, down low. It was because when Bobby was a teenager, he was a mutant and he already got just hated by people just for being a mutant. So if he came out, he would get more hate because he would be a mutant and gay. So that just basically probably haunted him in just his head. So all the panels that people put online was that, oh yeah, Bobby always has had like personal problems, and that's why in some panels he seems like he has hidden something all his life. I saw the panels, but maybe it was just low self-esteem, which is what I thought, and maybe it was just conflicts with himself on some other things. But many people are like, you know what, maybe he is, because he can never keep a relationship. He's been with so many girls, but he never had a steady relationship. And I feel like that's such a bad, reason, because there's so many characters who can't keep a girl, and one of them is Johnny Storm. He really can't keep a girl. He has dated so many girls, and he doesn't have the headline, Johnny Storm is gay. Another person is, anybody, like Hawkeye. Just a lot of people have dated people, many people, and they were not in steady relationships. So I think it's just crazy just labeling him because of that. From everything I read, I feel like, yeah, from his past, like Bobby's past, there's no sign of him, being maybe this homosexual character. But if you just take Bendis's run in consideration, then there is signs, and I feel like that's what I saw in this whole run. From the moment that the original X-Men came into the Earth, Bobby was really asexual. He was not into Jean Grey at all, while every other character, every original X-Men was into her. Cyclops was in love with her. Beast had a thing with her for like 2 issues, and Angel really liked her as well, but he kept it down low. But Bobby, he was never like, oh, I love you, Jean. So from then on, like, you can see that Bobby was different from somebody else. But I thought it was maybe because he was goofy. There was this issue before dedicated to Jean, and not Jean, it was dedicated to Cyclops and Bobby going out and picking up girls, and that was pretty fun. But there was no sign of him as well being gay in that issue, but except he picked up some girls, he was having fun with them. But yeah, from like that was the only thing I saw. That was the only issue of Only X-Men where I saw Bobby interact with girls. But from Bendis's run, I feel like he was pretty asexual. Like nothing, like he did not interact with anybody, especially this original Bobby. So he even reacts from when he saw the President Iceman kiss Kitty Pryde. He was like, "Ew, I'm dating the headmaster," but that was maybe a remark because that was basically like kissing your teacher. So you can take that as you can see it that way, but other people talk like, oh yeah, he was disgusted because he doesn't like girls. So you can take many things in different perspectives, and I honestly think that this was the wrong character to do it with. Bobby, he doesn't have that history. I feel like of maybe making him come out as homosexual. But I feel like that all the X Men have never had a steady relationship. The only two X Men that come into mind are Jean and Cyclops and Jean and Wolverine. Those are the only two steady relationships I have seen. Jean, maybe Emma and Cyclops, but that's it. Recently Storm and Wolverine. So there never has been a steady relationship or a marriage in the except from North Star and his boyfriend, but there never has been a marriage in the X Men universe, except as well by except the whole Jean and Cyclops marriage, but that whole thing just got destroyed. Anyways, I feel like he wasn't the character to do it with. I'm not gonna go against it until I really see how Bendis explains himself. Maybe he has like reasonable information, but I'm totally not feeling it. But anyways, I thought it was still a strong moment. Maybe it's just the something happened. Like maybe since the present Bobby came in, I mean the past Bobby came in, to the present time. Maybe something happened in all this time all this time in this gap, like from then, which was like issue number 1 to here. Like something must have happened that changed. But that wouldn't make sense because homosexuals are usually born that way. So we'll see how this gets explained. Like right now, I really can't find a way to find a perfect reason to do it, but we'll see. I'm not against it. If he is, I'll still like the character. I won't hate the character at all. It just won't make my perspective different about him. So if he is, that's okay. If he's not, that's okay as well. I'm not gonna hate it. But I really want to find a strong reasoning, behind all of this. So I'll give Bendis the benefit of the doubt. That was a great moment though in this book, and the whole Laura and Angel thing was also pretty nice. I like how Angel is really trying to change his future. I guess he's the past Angel. He's trying to change his future for the better. So that was great, and seeing him with Laura was great as well. But Laura really doesn't have any great lines. She's a really simple character, and that's what I don't like. So hopefully the X-Men have a really good writer after Bendis. Bendis, he does, justice to Jean Grey and maybe Cyclops, but really the other characters are just so behind. And I like this issue because Iceman shined, and so did Angel and Laura, which are characters that have been taking the backseat for Jean Grey for like 40 issues. So it was nice seeing that, and I'm excited for the next issue. So I gave this issue a 9.5, and I definitely recommend you guys to pick it up. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you liked this video. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and have a nice day, guys. Goodbye.